Welcome to Soft Talk. Today, let's talk about the goings on in Nepal once again. Where are we heading as a nation? I should be just delving into this important topic in today's edition of the program. If you have not subscribed to our channel, I request you to subscribe to it, comment on our presentation, and press that like button. Your support means quite a lot to us. It helps us continue a broad subscription base. That is, it helps us continue with this citizen journalism that is far from corporate feed and greed. So I request you to once again subscribe to this channel, comment on our presentation, pour your hearts out, pour your hearts and minds out, and support us in every possible way. So let's continue with today's presentation. After a severe burning of vital organs of the state, that is the executive, located based in Simhadarbar, the historic building of Simhadarbar, which was Asia's largest such structure with uh, about 1,500 rooms, and then the judicial building, the headquarters of Nepal's judiciary close by, and then the legislature building in New Baneswar. After a severe burning of these vital organs of the state, under the hazy gaze of a myopic and a reactive political leadership, this leadership had become synonymous with scams, incidents of looting, and gory deaths of scores of youths during that urban uprising against chronic nepotism, corruption, and bad governance. After all this, where are we heading as a nation? It's a given that a caretaker government has taken shape. This government is under the leadership of a retired Chief Justice, that is Susila Karki, and it has untainted figures. There are some controversies surrounding these figures, but by and large, these people are, some of them are pretty much untested, but at least they are not embroiled in corruption and bad governance and scandals and whatnot. So where are we heading as a nation at this crucial juncture? In the wake of utter chaos and anarchy, I show you some pictures that I took during those protests on September 8 and 9. These are some of the pictures. So I was talking about utter chaos and anarchy. A caretaker government has taken shape, as I told you earlier. Uh, this government has taken shape in close coordination with the National Army, that is the Nepali Army, and under the stewardship of the head of the state, the president, if you will, Ramchandra Paudel, who set a country on the brink of fire and for what end? This question remains unanswered at this point, but our competent defense, security, and intelligence authorities might find out the culprit in the due course of time with pictures and videos posted online. These pictures and videos posted online during and in the immediate aftermath of the unrest. These pictures, these videos, and vital clues, intelligence inputs offer will offer vital clues as the law enforcement goes about investigating those incidents of arson, looting, and whatnot. With the damage already done, that's a raging debate. A debate about what? About whether timely mobilization of state security, states, defense security apparatuses through a quick declaration of emergency could have saved lives and properties. Such a debate can continue, in fact. Such a debate can continue till the cows come home, can't it? Of course it can. Such a debate can continue in the capital, in a laid back nation under a political leadership known more for skills to remain in power somehow than for a long term vision for the nation and a short term sense of urgency. A functioning state remains ever awake, but Surya Asta Nepal must has become the norm rather than the exception in this home of the free and the land of the brave. Life's been one long party for Nepal's ruling elites and their progenies and their near and dear ones, their hangers on after their ascension to power following regime changes in the 1990s and the 2000s. So, waiting till the sundown for the party to begin is rather regressive, isn't it? What do you think? Allegorically, that's a Nepali folk tale in which seven villages go on the water, even as what we call Majis, the boatmen, if you will, engage in a vigorous discussion on how to deal with pouring rains and floods. This tale has become a reality once again, even under a political leadership that seemed to know about anything under the sun and beyond. Such was the arrogance on the part of Nepal's political leadership that it would feel compelled to respond to every tweet, every social media feed, as if that were the only worthy thing that was worth doing. In the end, it appears that the leadership did not know how to govern. Ironic, isn't it? A government is supposed to govern rather than rule with feisty arms and whatnot. Whatever remained of the parliament, the state organ supposed to represent the will of the sovereign people, is now gone. Though the Speaker of the House of Representatives, that is, the lower chamber of Nepal's bicameral parliament, and the chair of the National Assembly. The National Assembly is the upper chamber of Nepal's bicameral parliament. These people will remain in office along with the head of the state, who happens to be the enforcer and the protector of our dear constitution and a part of the parliament as well. With the judiciary barely functioning and a premature demise of a popularly elected parliament. This parliament granted that these organs had largely failed. The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, all these vital organs, had largely failed to act as bulwarks against the government. The two organs of the state I'm talking about, the judiciary and the legislature, had largely failed to act as bulwarks against a government that was clearly showing tyrannical tendencies, what with a crackdown on social media and what with a crackdown on dissent and its intolerance uh, toward dissent, towards protests. toward people's genuine concerns? Are we in a more enviable position after all these changes and with a caretaker government in place? Are we in a more enviable position than we were yesterday with with the judiciary operating from the tens and so with the executive and the legislature by and large dissolved, except for the chair of the National Assembly and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Are we in a more enviable position than we were yesterday? Or have we just landed into the fire from the frying pan? This question begs serious deliberations, doesn't it? Even when the parliament was functioning, by the way, in its literal sense, it was doing the will of a crack wielding executive at the expense of nation and her peoples, with lawmakers associated with different political parties submitting to party whips rather than their conscience, as if they were some beasts of burden. Even before blazes consumed most of its physical infra, even before the blazes consumed most of its physical infra, political intervention, including through government controversial appointments, had done extensive damage to the judiciary, the state organ tasked with reigning in an executive with a tendency in its DNA to ride roughshod over civil liberties through the strength of a majority in the parliament. As a barely functioning state struggles to rise, as a barely functioning state struggles, as a barely functioning state struggles to rise from the ashes of death and devastation, what awaits the laity? An ordinance Raj that will further curtail national sovereignty or something better? I leave this presentation with this question. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.